What's going on? So let me ask you a question. What is creativity? You don't need a definition. I'm going to tell you exactly what creativity is. Several years ago, when I decided to write my first book, I created an outline, but I didn't know that this outline was for a book. So I created this outline. I had this outline all set up to potentially be a coaching program. And like I had never done it, but like I hadn't done it before. I had done it, but I just didn't know how I did it. Back it up. And so I created this outline, didn't know it was for a book. And then when 2020 hit, COVID hit, Holy Spirit told me, go write this book and use that outline. So here's what was so interesting about this creativity is that when I got the nudge to write the book, it just says, you know what? Just turn on your phone just like you're doing today, but you're just going to record your voice for every chapter. Do you know, I drove to Delaware that day. I drove to Delaware. I went to see my parents. While I was driving, I was recording. I didn't have any notes. The only thing I had was the outline, and I'm just recording literally word for word what would be in this book. And so I drove to my parents. I spent the day with them that day, and then I drove back and I recorded. And within 7 days, I had created this manuscript literally from scratch. From scratch. Like there was no like, oh, I got to do all this research. I had the research. I was literally the research for the book. I just didn't know it. And when I got the idea to write the book, it was just like, just go and do it because you can. See, one of the things about creativity is that creativity is something that you already know. Creativity is doing things that you're already kind of accustomed to, maybe a little bit different. So sometimes you got to take the same thing that you've had and you got to create something totally different. I created, from the experiences that I had, I created literally a 7-step process in a book based on experiences that I had. It wasn't like based on what I thought about or based on what something could be, but they were all based on experiences that I'd already been through. Now, it wasn't a book about, my story per se. It was just a book about the principles of going to a new level in life. Like literally, the book is called Living Life on the Next Level. And I created this book, and it's just, it's amazing because when I think about leaders and I think about some of the things that leaders get stuck with, especially aspiring leaders, a lot of times we are stuck in imposter syndrome. Now, you may not be dealing with that. I know that at some point I was. I was an imposter. Who am I to write this book on the next level? Who am I to write this book that it supposedly, could do something and help someone else? Who am I to do that? Now, that's what happens when you create something. It's going to be questioned. But you know what? It's going to be questioned by you. So, as a leader, if you could get through your own questions, if you could get through the fact that your own self is going to say, who are you to do that? And you say, it's me to do that because I am creative. But it is my nature to create because the one who created me, it is in his nature to create. So let me ask you a question. What have you been holding back creating? Come on now. There's something you've been holding back creating. And what I've learned about the whole creation process, a lot of times people get caught up in the fact that they're not sure. They're wondering if it's going to work. They're wondering about whether or not, they have enough time to do it. Here's the thing. You have been chosen to create it. Not the universe, the creator chose you for it. Now, don't worry too much about whether or not somebody else could create something similar. Because to be honest, there's a lot of people creating things on next level. But you know what? They can't create what I can create on next level faith and living life on the next level. So today, think about what it is that you've kind of like put on hold, didn't go for it, didn't do. Think about those things today and say to yourself, I am a creator and it is my nature to create. And because it is your nature to create, therefore you create. All right, guys, go out there, be you, and create. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one.